Good morning, all of you. We will start chapter 6 Safety in Sports. So, first of all, what is the meaning of safety in sports? This chapter will help us to reduce the injuries during the games and what what are the reason and causes to related sports injuries. So, muscle strain, pulled muscles, torn ACL, torn MCL, shin splint, stress, fracture. These are the sports related injuries, and how can we prevent? So preventing of injuries are there if we will warm up, cooling down to be done, fitness of the participants, use of correct equipments and maintaining equipments, proper knowledge of rules of the games and sports, wearing the recommended protective gears, importance of the resting between the workouts, supervision of coach, teachers, proper training of skills and techniques, safe facilities. So concept of sports medicine. Concept of sports medicine. So what is the meaning of sports medicine? Sports medicine questions will come define sports medicine. सो स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन क्या है और स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन के बारे में आपको लिखने के लिए आता है तो आप क्या लिख सकते हो? स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन इज नोन एज एन exercise medicine. This is the exercise medicine and it is the branch of medicine that deals with the treatments and preventing of injuries related to sports. इसमें हमें स्पोर्ट्स क्या है और स्पोर्ट्स से रिलेटेड इंजरीज कैसे होती हैं और हम अपने आप को कैसे उससे प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. हाउ वी हैव टू बी प्रिवेंट ऑफ injuries related to sports. There are many thinkers have their own views to sports medicine. Next, aim of the sports medicine. What is the aim of the sports medicine? So first, to care and treat sports injuries, to diagnose and detect the cause, corrective musculoskeletal cause, the promote preventing except in sports, to guide and counseling. Causes of sports injuries. So what are the causes? What are the reasons then sports injuries happen? So there are the many causes are there. Questions will come, write the sports causes of sports injuries, then we can write from here. These are the points there. Lack of fitness. If we will not fit during the physical games or physical work, then injury should be there. Poor concentration, overstress or tension, not performing warming up, equipment failure, faulty skill actions, aggression or violence, poor play field, not wearing protective guards, wrong training methods, wrong treatments of injuries. So these are the classification of sports injuries. So in sports injuries are the common and it can occur anytime or at anyone. Injuries causes damage to any part, external or internal. इंजरी से हमारी बॉडी का कोई भी इंटरनल और एक्सटर्नल कोई भी पार्ट हमारा डैमेज हो सकता है. सो देयर आर द स्पोर्ट्स classification of sports injuries. Soft tissue injuries is further two types. Skin injuries. In skin injuries like contusions, abrasion, lacerations, and muscle injuries. Muscle injuries in tendon and ligament affected. Next, hard tissue injuries. These injuries involved damage the bones and skeleton system like fracture and dislocation. And these are two types: major injuries and major serious injuries. Next, meaning of and principle of first aid. So first aid, what is the meaning of first aid and what is first aid? Sometime question will come, define first aid. This is a very simple and very short answer. We can say first aid is the immediately and temporary care given to the victim. This is a very simple and short definition of first aid. If question will come and write only one line, this is the sufficient to show the first aid. The prime objective of to save life. Objective of first aid. So when we have to give the first aid, the what are the objective of first aid? So immediately aid if possible, the first and should be provided immediately at this time. We should not think about unless things time is very precious at that moment. So without wasting any time, the decision should be taken, so that immediately may be given to the victim. Think about ABC: airway, breathing and compression. These are the ABC. First aid is the very important step. Stop bleeding. If there is a bleeding, maybe any organ of the wounded person, it should be stopped at once. The wounded person's life may be in danger in case of excessive bleeding. Crowd kept away. It usually seen people gather immediately where there's any accident happening. They gather, and from crowd, every individual wants to be see the injured person. And injured persons they have got fresh air, and therefore the person giving first aid should also try to keep the crowd away from the injured person. Wrap the injured in cloth or blanket. Sympathetic attitude. The person is giving first aid need a sympathetic attitude when an accident happen. Injured person feels fear and terror. He should be treated politely and sympathetically, so they may come out of his fearful situation. Fluid should be not given to unconscious person. If any accident or something happening, then if person is unconscious, then don't give him any fluid. Liquid substance may be enter into the windpipe, and that may create further problems. Medical aids. The first aid should call the doctor or expert immediately. Next, sports related injuries. So there are the sports related injuries. What in skin injuries? There are many different types of sports related. These are the skin injuries. If question will come, define or write any sports related injuries, then we can write only the 3 sports related injuries are there: contusion, abrasion, and laceration or injury. So you can write only the 3 types of the skin related injuries. Next, sports related injuries, muscles. So first we have to be skin injuries. Now muscle injuries. Question again. If question will come, write the injuries related to muscles. So there are the muscle injuries are there. Cramp is the one. Cramp, muscles strain, pulled muscles, strain, muscles sprain. It is the injury of ligament and tendon around the joints. We can say MCL and ACL. Next, first aid and management of sprain injuries. The treatment of the management steps to the sprain injuries are the pricer. So students, pricer question will come, define pricer or define the full form of pricer. Then you can write from here: preventing rust, ice compression, evaluation and rehabilitations. Now next, sports related injuries, bone. So first we read skin injuries, then muscle injuries, now sports related bone injuries. So there are the bone injuries are there: dislocation, fracture. So students, there are the fracture. Sometime in question will come, write the fractures, types of fractures. So there are many types of fractures. Read properly: closed fracture, open fracture, complete fracture, incomplete fractures, green line, hairline fracture, impact fracture, stress fracture. So you can write from here. And symptom of the bone injuries. What are the symptoms? If bone injury is happening, then how we have to be feel? So symptom of the bone injuries, what first aid and management of bone injuries, what are the first aid and what management of when during the bone injuries. So students, chapter is complete and you have to be read the full chapter. Questions will come inside the chapter as well as the back exercise. So any difficulty will come, then please contact to me. Thank you and have a nice day.